I get asked by people starting off their mastering career, or if they're coming from mixing and they want to do mastering, what would be my mastering starter pack? What are the basic essentials that I'll need to get mastering, to start mastering? I've got loads of plugins, which ones shall I use? Now, I really believe that you should be thinking about plugins the same way as you would think about hardware back in the day when I started mastering, and only have a small amount of plugins, because you really want to learn those plugins and learn them well, in the same way that if you were to pay £5,000 for one EQ in hardware, you would really learn that bit of hardware and learn everything to do with that. So that's why I think you shouldn't have loads of plugins, because I think that you just get confused and you don't learn them well enough, and then you can't get the best out of them. So I would say let's limit the amount that we've got, especially when you're starting off and you're learning. I think as you know more and more and more about certain plugins and you learn that one, then you can bring another one in and really hone and learn that one, and bring another one in, and then you can then start saying, okay, I'll use that one for different sounds and different types of things you're trying to achieve. So what would be my basic plugins? Well, what we're going to need something to colour the sound up a little bit, so we've got some flavour going on. That's really what you want in mastering. You want to add some tone and some flavour. I want an EQ, I want a compressor, and I want a limiter. Now, I would say my standard go-to, if I was starting again, if I was on a desert island and I only had those 4 things to use for mastering, where I could get a great result, and I knew I could get a great result, the colouring thing I would have would be obviously Streaky Colorbox, which is my plugin, and that will give flavour, analog warmth, really get the sound. You can just get a really good sound going before you get into EQs and stuff like that. It's a good place to start with when you're going from a master, from a mix to mastering. So I'd get the colour box, get a bit of depth and warmth and clarity in there before I then started getting into an EQ. Now, when it comes to EQ, compression and limiting, I would say just get Fabfilter. So Fabfilter is kind of really good quality, high quality stuff. It's very versatile. There's a lot of things you can do with it. There's a lot in under the hood. So you can use it in a very basic way, all of their plugins, or you can dive deeper into them and really start pulling stuff around. Now, what I would use is I would go for their dynamic EQ, which is the Q3, I think. Yeah, Pro Q3. And that, because I could use it in a normal way as for normal EQ, just where it's just parametric and dialing in different frequencies, or I could use it just to move stuff around and only come in when I want it to as a dynamic EQ. So that's quite versatile. You can do quite a lot with that. For a compressor, I would use their multiband, their Pro MB, which is, so I could use it across the whole lot as one stereo compressor just to sort of hold things together and glue, or I could use it on different bands. I could use it as a de-esser. So things like that I would use for a multiband. Again, really versatile. And then the limiter, you can't go wrong with the limiter. It is the standard limiter for most mastering studios, the Pro L2, and with that you'll get loads of level, more level than you'll ever need. And so with those, a combination of all of those, so the Colorbox by Streaky and the 3 different more dynamic-y and limiters from Fabfilter, I would use those. You will get a great sound, really get into them, really learn them, and then you won't need anything else. What you'll do is you can then bring in different sounds. So you'll know, okay, when I do that with 3K on the Fabfilter, that's the effect that it has. And so when I bring in the curve bender, then it's got a different flavour, but I'm still doing the same thing. But you'll really already have learnt how to EQ on the Fabfilter. So for me, that would be my go-to plugins. I don't think you can go wrong. Now, people have asked me before, should I use Ozone for doing this? And I think no, because as I just explained, by bringing certain things in, I think Ozone is just an all-in-one box, and it's got too many other components going on that you're going to get tempted into using, like spreaders, maximizers, all these kind of things that really manipulate the sound quite a lot, and they'll start leading you down paths that you don't need to go down when you're very first starting. You're better off just keeping it simple, having an EQ, compressor, limiter, colouring box, just so that's it. It keeps it really simple, and it doesn't mean that you've got other stuff going on that Ozone has. Ozone is great. I mean, I love Isotope stuff. The sound of their RX is brilliant. Their denoising stuff, and I like their plugins. I'm not slating them off at all, but I just think that, you know, I think that they've got other stuff that's going to tempt you to lead you down paths you don't need to go down. So go for the Fabfilter stuff instead. And then if you get bored of the compressor, you can always pull in another compressor because you've already learnt that. So I hope that you're getting the point of this. That's my go-to mastering starter kit, what I would use if I didn't have anything else. If I didn't have any hardware, didn't have any digital gear, didn't have all this other gubbings that I've got, then that would be what I'd use, and I reckon I'd still get a great result from it. So I hope that's helped you if you're starting off, or even if you just want to add a mastering chain, and use a mastering chain at the end of after you've made your track. So yeah, I hope that helps you. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Bye.